2 months or something. Until my wife, she said, "You need to wash it. It looks nasty."
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast number 86. We got a good one, though it's going to start off on a somber note. But before we get to that, let me go straight to my boys. Starting off with my main man, Steph. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, so let's get it on.
And then also joined by Christian. Christian, how you doing, dude? Starting off with my main man.
I'm all right. I'm up in Massachusetts for the holiday. So I got a slightly different backdrop than normal, I suppose. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing pretty good. Us Americans have like a 4-day weekend, so
For real.
Could be a lot worse.
It actually slipped my mind that tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, guys, bro. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy tomorrow with your families and all that, man. I know in these crazy times, and to all the other American listeners, crazy times now. Proving more and more that family is super important, right?
Facts.
Nothing exciting about that.
Could be what?
I'm gonna be working, so nothing exciting.
Oh, for this. Call in sick, bro. Say you have COVID. You get a 2-week vacation.
Call in sick on the house.
I was just kidding. We also have to mention the footballing world lost an icon today. Diego Maradona, 60 years of age. Us Sporting fans have been blessed to at least have these images. I've seen them everywhere, all over Twitter and Instagram today, of Maradona in the Sporting jersey. I've seen them all throughout the years, don't get me wrong, but today especially. And I just want to just quickly say one thing that Bruno Carvalho said, that he hit the nail right on the head. I just want to thank Maradona for one, his services to the game, of course, but for two, giving me the enjoyment and the honor to see him in a Sporting jersey. So rest in power, Maradona. I don't know if you guys want to share any memories. Steph, you're a lot older than us. I don't know if you've seen him maybe play on the television. I'm trying to gauge. Yeah, you probably, right?
Yeah, I've seen a few matches on television when he played for the national team of Argentina, and also for Naples, Italy. And he'll be missed. I mean, he was one of the best players in the whole world, so he'll be missed. And it's a shame. That's all I gotta say.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I always thought of him as a fun, amusing character, especially in his later years. Absolute character. Obviously a legend of the game as well. So definitely a big loss for the sport overall. Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak too much about any specific memories. Obviously, like, I've seen and watched like reruns of all the famous ones and stuff, and it's just funny, like, kind of just overall, like, how like top heavy he was, but also how fast he was. It's just like he's a hilarious character, and he'll definitely be missed. You guys hear me?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. That was so fucking weird.
Yeah, I think it was a solid minute and a half. I have to check the live to see if. Sweet. Sorry, what did you say, Chris? I'm pretty sure it was me that left.
Oh no, I don't really have anything else.
All right, cool. Yeah, rest in power, Maradona. Let's go straight into the now we lost Seth. Let's go straight into the Twitter questions. Hopefully, I just had them up, but give me a sec. Hopefully, Steph will join us in the meantime. There he is. going down today, guys. Holy. All right. Anyways, first question comes in from Jimmy Enes at Jimmy Enes on Twitter. His question is, what the hell is going on with Eduardo Quaresma? It's a great question. Chris, I'll pass the one off to you, and Steph, you can obviously chime in if you want to.
I just think he's out of favor right now. There was a piece of news. It was kind of fleeting the last couple of days. It said that like Thiago Tomas and Eduardo Quaresma, Amorim like wants to give him a kick up the ass. And I mean, Tomas has had more opportunities, so I feel like he's not as out of favor. But also, Quaresma was working back from the injury. Like there was like, okay, he's definitely going to play in this game now. Like, oh, he's definitely going to play in this game. He's back now. And then he wasn't even on the bench, I remember. And it was like, oh, I thought he was back. And then it was this game, this most recent game, was like, oh, he's definitely going to play in this one. And he still didn't play in this one. So I think that I think it's Amorim like doesn't like what he sees in practice, doesn't think his attitude's up to standard, something. Like Amorim has taken exception to something, and he's for whatever reason he's out of favor as a result of that, unfortunately. And Nanasio clearly is in favor.
Yeah, exactly. And with a decent performance this weekend too. We'll get into that. Chris, I'll give you this next one as well. It comes in from Alkshit Youth while they try to fix the issue. He asks, do you think Marques and Inácio will play more now? Decent question. Both of them getting a goal. Steph, how's the audio now? Any better?
No.
No? Let me try.
Please report to my office.
Wait.
I can hear Chris now.
Okay.
When I unmute my mic, does it fuck it up?
No.
Because I'll just use the mic.
You come out like all vibrating.
That's really weird. I can hear him good. Can listeners hear?
How about
Danny
now?
normally?
Still no? Test.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2.
Yeah, so if somebody could say something.
Test. Can you hear me? No? Still vibrate? Still bad?
I can hear you, Danny.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you like I can hear you at all. You sound like from the movie The Transformers.
Well, do I sound normal?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll ask Steph the questions.
I'll change the earphones in the meantime. It might be that. I'll try to grab a mic. But go ahead, guys. Go ahead. Marques and Inácio, will they play more?
I can hear you now. I think it's your headphones.
All right. Well, the question was, hold on, let me just pull it up. It was in the Twitter questions. I literally just had open a second ago. Do you think Pedro Marques and Gonçalo Inácio are going to play more now because of their performances in the most recent game?
I mean, the most recent game was against an opponent that plays in the Campeonato Portugal. With that said, Sporting took that game very seriously, without a doubt. I think they'll make the bench at least. They'll be called to the A squad quite a lot, and they'll start the bench. I don't think they'll be in the starting 11, but I would like to see them get more minutes, especially in the League Cup, and we got Paços Ferreiras in for the Portuguese Cup, which will be played on the 12th or 13th of December. So give those players more minutes in those competitions, but we cannot mess around with the Portuguese league if we want to have a shot of winning the league. But yeah, that's a good question, and I think they'll make the bench at least.
Yeah, which they have already too. Can you hear me better or worse?
It was your shitty headphones. Yeah.
I also think it's my audio jack that's fucked up. Hopefully by next week I'll have a new laptop, so we won't have any issues. But we'll see. Next question or comment comes in from Mundo Dung Leão. He says, "I broke my leg and Daniel Bragança assisted me. Love it." Miguel Moratu says, who do you guys rate more, Quaresma or Inácio, Tiago Tomás or Pedro Marques? Chris, I'll give the first one to you and the second one to Steph. So Quaresma or Inácio?
I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment too much, but I've been really liking Inácio, and honestly, I think that he replaces Neto
Perfectly. Yeah.
If like he'll be the full-time starter by like February, you know, like there's no way Neto holds on to that spot the whole season.
Agreed. And then Steph, Tiago Tomás or Pedro Marques? This is an easier one, actually.
I like them both. They both are completely different players in completely different positions. So
Yeah.
Pedro Marques is more of a strike inside the box, and Tiago Tomás is kind of a false nine. He's behind the striker and also a good winger. As far he plays, I love the intensity he brings to the team as far as defensively, so they're both kind of different players, but I like them both. So I'm gonna say both.
Agreed. I'll put Tiago Tomás just a bit ahead, only because we've seen more of him. But
Yes.
Man, 100%. I agree. They're still two different sort of players, two different positions. Anyways, let's get straight into this game. Sporting beating Sacavenense at Jamor 1-7 or 7-1. Our lineup was as followed. We had Luís Max in net, Gonzalo Inácio, Coates, and Luís Neto, with Borja and Antunes at the fullback spots. We had João Mario and Mateus Nunes in the midfield, with Nuno Santos, Sporar, and Cabral up top, with goals from that went away. I believe it was one from Nuno Santos, two from Coates, one from Inácio. Who else am I missing? One from Jovan,
two from Marques.
And two for Marques, exactly. Anyways, Steph, I'll throw this one straight to you. What were your thoughts on this game, dude?
I like the fact that our team took the game very seriously. They respected Sacavenense from the beginning of the game until the end of the game.
Yeah, you still here?
Give me a second.
Yeah, go for it. Chris, what were your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, the game was pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Obviously, we were the better team. We came out and clearly, looked to dominate the game. While the quality for I think probably about 25 to 30 minutes in the second half wasn't up to standard, and parts of the first half weren't quite up to standard either. But overall, I mean, clearly the superior side, deserved winners. I mean, we did get a kind of bogus PK, to be honest.
Yeah.
That we did, like, it felt like one of those where it's like, do we really need the refs' help here?
Yeah. We're already dominating the game. Like, come on, man.
And I think that was only either 2 or 3-0. So that was,
it was
like
2,
yeah.
They made it to 3, but we were still all over them. Like,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah. So I mean, it was obviously never really in doubt. They probably had like 4 minutes where they had like 2 chances, but most of the chances they had were as a result of like a bad turnover, or something like that. I mean, it's a third division team, but at the same time, like, we played a very similar team to this last year and lost to them, and I've seen us make a meal out of teams like this in the past like 2 years. So it's not like these games are just a given, because I've seen us struggle. Like even when we did win, I think we played. Well, honestly, to be honest, I remember Vilafrequense, Vila Verdense, and also the one from. I think we played them at Académico Viseu, but that's not who we played. It was a third division team.
Yeah, I know exactly. Oh,
like we were shite and won like 2-0, I think. So it's like I've seen a lot worse from these types of cup games. So honestly, I have no complaints. The team's rolling. It wasn't. I mean, it was a rotated squad, but it wasn't a heavily rotated squad. So they're taking it one game at a time, all opposition seriously. yeah, I mean, I have no complaints about the results, the attitude. And on top of it all, we got to see Pedro Marques come in and score a brace.
Yeah.
Which is pretty incredible. I guess story arc, I guess you could say. So, yeah, good stuff all around.
Yeah, I agree. Steph, I don't know if you're still there. If not, I'll quickly chime in.
I think duty called.
Duty called. Fair enough. So yeah, my 2 cents. I thought, same as you just said. Wasn't that heavily rotated. I was actually expecting a lot more. I was actually very shocked to see Sporting get the start ahead of even like a Tiago Tomás. Like I didn't expect Pedro Marques to play, but a Tiago Tomás. I also think this international break sort of hindered us from playing more youth, like Plata, for example, who scored a banger for Ecuador before getting sent off for a second yellow, thinking he's like Gelson Martins or something. But it only shows that Sporting is starting to seep in with him, which is great. But yeah, back to the game. We dominated them, easily dominated them from the get-go. Nuno Santos, it was Sam, the Irish Sam O'Hara, or however you pronounce his last name, who said it. So I'm going to steal it from him. That Lampion is making me really like him, isn't he? I love the guy. He chases after every ball. Beautiful tap in. He had one just before. I don't know if it was already 2-0 or if it was still 1-0 where he hit the post. He also got an assist in the game. Nuno Santos has been unreal. I always knew he was a good little player. Didn't expect him to be this good. I also know it's Sacavenense, and they did look very poor. Apparently, they had to work the next morning, which fucking bullshit. Poor guys, like having to work construction after having to face Sporting. I feel bad for them, but
yeah, we were late too. It was like 9:15 kickoff.
Exactly. Why did we play on a Monday? That's another thing I don't understand. But anyways, yeah, we were easily the better team. You can see that we're 2 divisions above them. One, us being in first, them being mid-table in the Campeonato Português. Yeah, man. Best of luck to Sacavenense going forward, but it was an easy W, and I think a W we all expected. Steph, let me kick it right back to you, dude. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm still at work, so so you guys said it all. I was kind of listening, and but let's not forget that last year we lost against a team from the Campeonato Portugal 2-0 in Alverca. So winning this game was very important to kind of scare away the ghosts. So we full of confidence, and that's good. We won 7-1, which was our obligation. But if we had the same shitty team as last year, we could possibly lost against Sacavenense. So, but we made it easy from the get-go, and Nuno Santos with that phenomenal goal kind of eased the whole game from the get-go. But very proud of this team, a lot of youth. I like what Ruben Amorim's doing, which is combining the most experienced players with our youth, and it's a nice little mix going on. So if you look at all the goals we've scored so far, I think it's a total of 22 or something like that. So 10 of those goals are from the youth academy, and 12 of those goals are from all the reinforcements we've gotten this summer window. So it tells you that we finally were successful in getting awesome players to mix with our youth academy, and now it's working out pretty good. So we have to give all the credit to Ruben Amorim. He's the one who's making this team believe on each other. They play as a team. You could see the joy they have playing, how they celebrate the goals, and when we question why certain players are not playing, such as Ritovski, this and that, if they don't believe in the mentality and the ideas of the coach, I get it why they're not part of that team. Either you're a believer and you all arremapa para o mesmo lado, like we say in Portuguese, going to the same side, or you're not going to make the team. So
Yeah.
what I'm seeing is phenomenal. I like it. I'm not saying that we're going to win all domestic competitions, but if we play each game the way we're playing now, it'll be really tough to beat us, and we'll have a chance of winning most games. And of course, against Braga, Benfica, Porto, that's going to be tough games, but I'm sure we can at least tie against them. So the game was good. We took it seriously, and I like the respect we gave Sacavenense. And congrats, and we're in the 4th round, and we already know with whom, with the Passo Ferreira.
Yeah, exactly. Quickly on your Ruben Amorim comment, he's given 7 youngsters their debut during 8 months. Jorge Jesus took him 3 years to give 7 players a debut. The only person better than Amorim at the moment has been Paulo Bento. And a third of the goals scored, like you mentioned, Steph, a third of the goals scored came from our younger players. Incredible so far. Incredible. So we also have a question here from Eric. He asks, do you think Nunes is our second right wing back after Porro? Of course, he played right wing back in the second half of the Sacavenense game. Steph, as you just mentioned, Ristovski isn't in the side. Right now he has COVID. But he hasn't been in the side basically all year already. So, is it safe to believe Nuno Mendes can be, or Nuno Mendes, Matheus Nunes can be our second choice right back or wing back?
I think he is now, if he wasn't before.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, nothing more to say than that. What else is there?
Yeah,
I wanted to mention. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
Mata wasn't that bad. Who hasn't played in like 2 months. So I mean that was slightly promising to see him not look completely rusty / terrible. So that was, I guess, a good sign.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess the last talking point really on this game, aside from that horrible announcer, I don't know if you guys got the announcer celebrating the goals on the thing. Horrible. Anyways, aside from that, the only other talking point, the penalty. Chris mentioned it earlier. I mentioned it as well. I don't think it was a penalty. Chris doesn't think it was a penalty. Steph, we have yet to hear your opinion on it. Penalty on Sporar?
No, that was not a penalty at all. That's why I'm glad to be Sportingista, because the clubs, they would say it wasn't.
There's contact there. So if it's like, if that was a league game and they go back and you're trying to overturn that, it's tough because there is contact there. So if you slow it down, you see leg hitting leg. So I don't think it's ever going to get overturned. But it's soft as fuck.
Yeah.
If the VAR was in effect, the VAR from England, not the one from Portugal, they would have never called a penalty.
Yeah.
We didn't need the penalty to win the game anyway.
Yeah, exactly. There's apparently some sort of other angle of it that showed it was a penalty. I didn't see it, but even still, I find it hard to believe that was a penalty. Very minimal contact. Anyways, last question, really. Man of the match. A lot of great performances on that game. I'll give mine to Coates, 2 goals, but Nuno Santos is close there with a goal and an assist. How about you, Chris?
2 assists, actually. 2
assists, right? Yeah, my bad.
I'm going to give it to Nuno Santos. I think that's who officially won it also. From Sporting. Nuno Santos.
Nuno Santos, how about you, Steph?
Ruben Amorim.
Jugou?
Probably
in a way. I like it though. I like it. All right. Next topic. 2 big sort of political announcements happened this week at Sporting. We'll go into the Miguel Alburqueque one. We did mention it the last podcast, but it is now official. He parts ways with Sporting. Sporting coming out with an official announcement. I'm going to be honest, I didn't catch who's his replacement is or if they even mentioned that. I'm going to actually throw this straight to one of you guys, whoever wants to take it. Your thoughts and what exactly went on with Miguel Alburqueque, who was so successful for our modalities.
I don't think that there is a replacement that's been announced yet.
Okay, making sure. But anyways, take it away, Steph.
So this is something from, if I'm not mistaken, like a year ago. A
Yeah.
domestic, because he's still with his wife, the same one who complained. But I get it, because when you work in a big club or in a like my job is the same thing. If I have a domestic, I'm basically done in law enforcement. So I get it. I do get it. And some people think it might be because it's they're afraid he might win the elections next year or in 2022. But that doesn't matter because you could still run for president.
Yeah.
He's still social Sporting, and but
Yeah, but now he's tarred though.
yeah, it's hard and it's not. It depends on how much propaganda and who's your team. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's too early to talk about that, but
Yeah.
it's a shame. But it's his own fault. I'm not going to blame the administration for that. That's for sure. He's the one who beat his wife. There's no other way to say it. You know. I appreciate everything he did for the club. It was 20 years.
Yeah.
But your actions speak louder. And I'm not going to defend someone that did beat his wife and she complained. They could have resolved it maybe in another way, but they didn't. And he's the only one at fault. So shame on him. And thank you. That's all.
Yeah, agree. Honestly, it's one of the reasons why I've kind of kept quiet on this one. I'm sort of out of the loop of it, to be honest. But two, if that's the reason for the dismissal, it's in terms of domestic violence. The only shady thing is it's been so long, but I understand it.
Yeah,
I understand it.
It's a double-edged sword, right? Because it's obviously it's not like something you want to go on the record as defending.
Yeah.
So I feel like the nuance that we talk about it with is appropriate though, because you can acknowledge that like what he did was bad, but you can also acknowledge like the political motivation behind it. And yes, domestic abuse is obviously bad, but do we honestly think that the sporting admin is like crusaders against violence against women, and they thought this act was so objectionable that they took action 13 months later? Like,
Yeah.
That's not why they did that. They don't care. They don't give a shit about this guy's wife. They care about their own asses at the end of the day.
But I think, there it is. And that's what, and that's a little bit jumping into conclusion because the whole deal was just resolved recently, the matter. And once it was official.
Well, the part that doesn't sit with me is that day that they decided to like basically re-release it, and like CMTV basically made it seem like it was a real-time news thing. And that's why I think it's sketchy, because we know like the Kofina and the relationship with this admin, like obviously they were willing to carry water for them when they wanted this story. And like CMTV does this with a lot of their stories, right? They're mislead their audience, but
Yeah.
I thought it was striking because even I thought it was a new thing, right? Because everything was so misleading about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not going to defend the action, but I think that we can mostly probably agree with some fair certainty that disgust with the action was not the main reason why he was let go.
I think they must have felt some kind of pressure from someone.
Yeah, the pressure came from somewhere, right? Because why did they decide to act on it now rather than 6 months ago or a year ago? Or
the worst thing to do is to hide something, which it will come out sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
And then this administration maybe reacted too late.
I mean, at the end of the day, if he had the skeleton in his closet, I mean, did he seriously think that he was going to run for president and this wasn't going to come out? Like,
yeah.
It seems like the type of thing that he was doomed to sink him, whether it was today, tomorrow, yesterday. Like, I don't know. If you have that type of thing like on your record or whatever, it's gonna be tough to get past it.
Sorry, go ahead, Steph.
I mean, I understand the timing of things, but I think the judicial system hadn't made it official, and then that's why it got delayed. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're looking for someone to blame for, it's
Miguel.
Miguel
Mhm.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
It's not his wife. I mean, she's entitled to complain about getting beat up.
For sure.
For sure.
As the all female should. If you're getting being abused at home, you should complain and say something. Of course, you must.
Yeah.
That's not we in the 21st century, for God's sake.
A quick thought. I don't know if you guys hopefully you guys can answer it. Do you think it could be directly correlated, this dismissal being as an opportune time to sort of start really disinvesting into the modalities, with Miguel Albuquerque out of there, and with obviously COVID really affecting the club financially? Getting Miguel out can then also lead for the club to now sort of basically cut costs, right? Like start disinvesting into the modalities, because the one thing I've noticed, we can say Bruno Carvalho, but I think the real reason why our modalities were so strong wasn't just because of Bruno Carvalho. It had to do exactly with Albuquerque. I don't know exactly to what length he scouted or any of that and picked the players up one by one, but of course his influence is there. Do you think maybe that can have something to do with it, or am I just picking at straws here, just thinking?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that. Well, it's tough because it's like it's internal politics, and you don't know because it's like, was there internal conflict between the two of them, or there's actually, it's funny, I saw it the other day. It's an article from like maybe summer 2019, like a year and a half ago, and it's Miguel Albuquerque doing like a front cover interview, like he's the main feature of that edition of the whatever, like August 6th to 2019 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally is declaring his fealty to Verandas.
Yeah, I remember that.
Him about his aspirations, and he doesn't say anything. He says like, I'm loyal to this president, and all I'm thinking about is this season. So like he did all that kind of stuff, and they still they still didn't care. So on the answer to the question, I truly don't know what the dynamic was between them at all. Like if it was like adversarial, if they were butting heads, if Albuquerque truly was loyal to Verandas, but Verandas just didn't care because he still viewed him as a threat. I don't know. I truly have no idea.
Yeah. I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
In the coming months or weeks or years, we'll maybe get a better sense of it. Second biggest news, also having to do with our Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steph. My bad.
Those cuts in the modalities, they have already happened. If you pay attention.
No, for sure.
In track and field, Nelson Evra, for example, and they gone across the board and renewed contracts with those athletes. In table tennis, we lost our key players, and we lost against Juncal after we haven't lost for I think 7 years in that specific department.
Yeah.
If you look at the handball,
the women's team. Oh, sorry. Yeah, handball team too.
We lost some key players.
Yeah.
Futsal, we kind of kept the same core. Some players left because they wanted to. So the volleyball team, it was also revamped. I think the one modality they invested heavily was basketball.
Yeah.
But apart from that, they have made adjustments in the modalities already. So it has nothing to do with with Miguel Albuquerque. Miguel Albuquerque was good in the sense of knowing nationwide the best players that Sporting should get. But I'm pretty sure he taught someone that. And if Benfica or Porto is smart, they'll get him. But we'll see what's going to happen. That'll be the fun part of it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, anyways, moving on to the second thing to do with our modalities, is the I guess it's official. I mean, it's something us Sporting fans have been saying for a few years now, but it's official. Sporting, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe my verbiage might be wrong, but Sporting is alleviated of any sort of guilt or any sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, free of all charges in terms of cashball. It was proven that the club is, yes,
Yeah.
Sporting.
The guy who blew the whistle is facing charges. He used to work for Sporting. He doesn't anymore.
And they're claiming he's the only one that spoke to referees. He's the only one that.
Well,
it's the same guy that had that interview, right?
Yeah, Paulo Silva.
Yeah, Paulo Silva, exactly. So anyway, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
To be honest, like, I still think there's a lot more to this story that we don't know about yet. Like, a lot of to be honest, here's another crazy fact. I didn't remember this, but you know that Alburqueque and Cashball broke on the same day?
Yeah. That's why Bruno Carvalho, well, that's what he says. That's why Bruno Carvalho wasn't at the academy. He went to go resolve some Cashball dealings.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, I mean, obviously we know the whole thing is like, it was like a media setup.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, legitimately every single part of it was like, I mean, I mean, who is behind Paulo Silva's actions is, I think, the main thing that remains to be determined. Because it wasn't Sporting's administrators at telling him to do anything. So it's like, why? Like, I seen like Cesar Boaventura's name, floating around here. It's just it's messy. It's Portugal. It's
yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the truth, we probably know 15% of the truth now. Like, we knew like 2%. Now we know 15, but we're still nowhere near the whole truth.
Basically, the equivalency of FBI, Polícia Judiciária, PJ, they couldn't find anything. So, and they had 2 years to come up with something. Trips to Madeira and evidence, and they came out empty-handed. They said they went to the wrong houses with a search warrant. So when you think about it and you step back and you tell yourself, shit, was this a setup? Because if this was a setup, it worked out perfectly, because BDC was kicked out of the club. And a lot of it has to do not only with the attack on the academy, but with this Cashball bullshit as well. So then you start thinking, could this be possibly another club involved that was orchestrating the whole thing, that came up with their master plan, and it kind of worked out in against BDC, because he didn't affect Sporting. So we keep getting our titles, and it makes you think, who the fuck thought about this? They got BDC in real trouble. Yeah. Because Miguel Albuquerque didn't get in trouble. No. You know what I mean? Yes, so
sure. Also Andre Geralds, who, like, honestly may have been like, Mustafa massively smeared, BDC massively smeared. Low key though, fucking Andre Geralds. He literally got smeared almost as much as those other two, and like, it's like, I'm convinced literally everything that was ever bad about that guy was all just completely fabricated. And I'm actually certain that he's a very competent administrator also, because Sporting did well, Fedens did well.
Exactly.
Like, there's no way that guy's incompetent, nor is he corrupt either. So I feel bad for him too.
Yeah.
Well, like I suspected, didn't think that Sporting was involved in any corruption, and they just proved that. Of course, to our rivals, they always going to throw that at our face. Oh no, that was bullshit. The judicial system in Portugal sucks, and that's why you guys got away with it. But they had not even one piece of evidence. And when I say a piece of evidence, I'm talking about recording, phone taps, YouTube, emails,
or even
nothing.
any like testimony.
Nothing.
Like,
But when you talk about
Yeah.
Pictorado, you can go today to online and Google a Pictorado, and you'll
I mean, even Benfica, when they didn't get in trouble in 15-16, like Cassiu, that goalie for Rio Ave, and
Mhm.
Marcelo, who's like, they said that guys, Benfica, the guy
Approached us.
talked to him in the hotel with the briefcase
Yeah.
of money. Like, literally, that allegation alone is more evidence than all of the cash ball.
The one thing I agree with my Benfiquista friends is the following: was the act of Rui Pinto a unlawful? Yes, he hacked into a server that didn't belong to him. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But with that said, those emails were real. And if you go online and Google Itupeira emails Corrupção Benfica, those emails come up, and they'll never go away because once online, they'll stay online forever.
Yeah.
But where's those emails with Cashball? There's nothing. But when you talk about a Pictorado or Itupeira emails, everything shows up. The only thing is it was obtained illegally, and they will get away with it because it was obtained illegally because no one wants to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly. The last pressing matter on this cash ball, Steph mentioned it earlier this week. There was also a lot of talk. I know the last podcast that he was on, I believe he spoke on it. It's the now pending situation with Bruno Carvalho. Listen, it's no news here. I'm not going to ask you guys whether you think he should be reinstated or not. I think it's more than obvious that's our position on it, especially now more than ever. I guess my main thing or my main question.
There's an argument to be made that even if he was responsible, that he should have never been expelled as a socio. But we don't even have to make that argument anymore because it doesn't even apply. Like,
exactly. my only question is now where do we as Brunistas or just as Sparta, I hate the word Brunista because I don't even necessarily. I love the man. I don't necessarily want him back as a president. But where do we go from here in terms of Sparta fans, the administration, et cetera, reinstating Bruno? That's two cases that he's been alleviated of. That's Cashball and Alburqueque. These commentators can come out and say whatever they want about the dismissal of Bruno Carvalho. He got dismissed for Alburqueque for the attack. He was blamed for it. 2 years have passed. He's been free of it. Where do we go from here, Steph, in terms of freeing him? Or at least getting him his sauce back?
It's a no-brainer. If I'm Frederic Varandas, which I'm not, but if I was, I would readmit him as sauce to Sporting Club Portugal ASAP.
Yeah. Because
if you want to reunite the club, the fans, that's the first step. And the first step is to admit your mistakes and admit that, hey, you know what? It's proven by the court of law of the Portuguese judicial system that he's not guilty with the attack of the academy and he's not guilty with Cashball. With that said, in the past I've said I wouldn't want to see him as a president. Now I'm going to retract and say it. I would love to see him as a president again because all the facts now, it was confusing to me. Like a lot of Sportingistas were confused with everything that went on with the media. They kept on feeding us bullshit and lies, and sometimes they were kind of believable because they kept on bringing them up every single day on a daily basis. It was repetitive. So you kind of, after a while, believed in it, But then when the judicial system did their job and nothing was proven, no evidence, so you could see that this was a coup against PDC. And whoever designed this master plan coup, again, it doesn't mean it was necessarily Sportingistas, or it could have been Sportingistas combined with other clubs. It worked out perfectly.
You know what
It worked out perfectly.
What I truthfully think is that the incident of the attack itself just happened organically, and it was utilized then. right? Because if the media wanted to make the story like attack at Sporting, like there's been training grounds attacked before. Like you can make like it could have been a weak story if you want. If they wanted, it could have been like a big story leading up into the cup final, and then like that could have been it. Like that like it was intentionally made much bigger than it was. Like obviously, like they're the same media that was willing to fabricate large parts of the story. Like there was nothing that was like off the table for them, you know.
If Ferrand is not afraid of anything, he should reinstate him. And then the worst that could happen is when the next elections come up, Bruno Carvalho will run for president. And if Veranda does a great job, he'll be reelected most likely. And if he does a shitty job, Bruno Carvalho could win. But he shouldn't be afraid. If he thinks he's doing a phenomenal job, then you shouldn't be afraid of that. You know, but is it going to happen? I don't think so. Should it happen? Yes, because it's common sense.
Yeah.
He's not guilty of anything. I've said in the past, now já não quero mais para president. But now I'm going to go back and say, no, I would like to see him as given another shot to become the president again, because he was kicked out of the club illegally. What they did to Bruno Carvalho was not fair. And now when you take a step back and you take a deep breath and you see it at all the evidence, you know, and I've been following closely all this justice system about the Cashball and the attack on the academy. Now you can see, the guy was not guilty all along. So it was wrong of this administration or the previous one, more so Sousa Sintra.
Yeah,
e o James
Mark Soares.
Mark Soares is filho da puta.
Who just got under a judicial issue right now, yeah.
Karma's a bitch. So those individuals.
He's the worst. I didn't realize how bad he was at the time. I can't believe Bruno Carvalho let that snake.
They forced him out, and they got him out, and it's a shame the way they did. Rogério Alves, another piece of shit. He's not good for the club either. And I just think that
he is the mastermind, because he's the one that drags his feet on everything. That just all he's done is just buy them time, and like that's all he's needed to do is just buy time. Like
he's the Geppetto.
I think there's a lot of people not wanting to see Bruno Carvalho back because they're afraid of him because of what he knows and what.
I don't think that they don't gain anything from him coming back, but they could lose something. So I think that's why.
Yeah. I'm talking about, you know, Football Club Porto, Benfica, Braga. They wouldn't want him back because he's very vocal and he'll say it the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really and very educated, very intelligent man.
Oh yeah, no denying that.
Yeah,
no denying that.
He speaks English perfectly.
Yeah,
he's definitely smarter than he gets credit for.
Yeah.
And if he ever wants to practice some of that English, I'm just saying, Bruno, give us a call, buddy. I know you follow the page. Come on, buddy. But yeah, anyways, let me quickly go to a quick question that I totally skipped over by accident by Creator90. It's actually good before we go on to modalities and Moreirense. Thoughts on Mateus Reis coming from Rio Ave? Would he be a good pickup considering he's not played since his failed move to Olympiacos? He left-sided defender, could play center back. What are your guys' thoughts? I'll just say I don't think we need him at all. But what do you guys think?
I just don't get why he isn't playing this season at all. That's my only question.
Yeah,
maybe it's a simple answer. I don't know why.
He hasn't been playing because the deal with Olympiacos didn't happen, and
they're mad at him.
No, he's mad at the club.
Oh, so he's freezing himself out.
So I don't want him at Sporting.
I don't want to play. We've had enough players like that throughout the years.
Yeah.
Never.
I just feel like we need a right back, not a left back. Anyway,
we still have Lodi.
Fuck this.
Yeah, we don't.
Maybe he wouldn't be such a bad buy anyways. Fuck this. This guy's saying he Lodi.
The motherfucker didn't want to take a deal with the Turkish club because he would make less money. It's not his fault, but Tá lá de férias, ou caralho.
Yeah, I wonder what he's been up to.
He's
I
playing
haven't seen him on Instagram at all.
PlayStation.
Does he play? Is he on Instagram?
Does it? He might have the new PS5 with the amount of money he's making just sitting at home, bro. What is
He
this?
better have it. I mean, he's making like
exactly
1.5 million euros a year. Jesus.
we all saw it a mile away, except for the Varandas administration. But let's give them credit. I think they've learned with their mistakes, because this year they did a phenomenal job in the players they acquired.
Yeah, agree. I think Ruben Amorim has done a great job, Steph.
Yeah, it's
not so much Varandas, but yeah, Ruben Amorim's done great. But hey, Varandas brought him in, so
if I'm Varandas, I would fire Hugo Vianas and save on one salary.
For this, I agree.
Yeah, I would say, hey, Ruben Amorim is the one making the shot calls, so you can go home. I don't need you.
I mean, the amount of times Hugo Viana flew out to London just to sell Bruno Fernandes for 55 million and him to have 35 goals and assists in 36 games.
They spent like 4 million euros on private jets, like during that time frame, because they went back to England like 11 times.
Exactly, Chris. What you're missing is those private jets are currently being paid because Bruno Fernandes is hitting all his bonuses.
Yeah, seriously,
this is the best.
We're breaking his bonuses are offsetting the travel expenses
exactly that they had. Steph, let me pass it off to you with our modalities before moving on to Moreirense.
Okay, so here we go. So a piece of good news that came out recently: the futsal Portuguese Cup from 2019-20. It will happen in December, which will be on the 27th. We'll play against I don't know if you guys remember the last game that Sporting played. We won against Benfica 5-3, and then the COVID-19 happened. Yeah. So we actually, when we won against Sporting Lisboa Benfica, we qualified for the semifinals, which will be played against CR Leões do Porto Salvo on the 27th of December, 1500 our time, 3 p.m. And then the other semifinal will be Braga against Portimonense the same day. The final will be on the 29th of December at 16:15 our time, 14:15 p.m. our time in Matosinhos. So that's good news. It's another trophy we could conquer. Because I thought that competition was done. So when I saw it, I was pretty excited. Handball, we won yesterday against IFK Kristianstad. I know I'm mispronouncing it. For the EHF Europa League away in Sweden. We won 32-27. So congrats to our team. Phenomenal game. I saw it. We're missing a couple players like Huesga, our German defender, and a couple more because of injuries. So it's been tough. We lost against Porto at home, 27-33. And you could see that those key players that we were missing, it showed our weaknesses. Without Huesga, which brings a ton of experience at the German defender player, we were pretty weak against Porto. So we need the full team to win against a football club Porto that has built a team for the Champions League. They play in the Champions League. They have a pretty good team. I would say they have a little bit more of advantage than we do. But if we have our team healthy and our A game, we're more than capable of beating them. But this time they did beat us. Our ladies in Joaquim Patins, they went to Stadio Pavilhão da Luz, and they won 4-2. And this is significant because those ladies from Sporting Lisboa Benfica, it's the same team for many years, and they hadn't lost for more than a decade. So beating them, finally, we broke that spell. So in a way, so that's pretty good for them. Congratulations to our ladies. Volleyball men, we won against Matosinhos 3-0. Our females, we lost at home 3-1. I watched the game on TV at the Pavilhão João Rocha, against Football Couport. They just played better. And then today, our Okiem Patins, in a very tough game, we won 4-3 against HC Braga. Always a tough team. They know how to defend pretty good. We won towards the end. In less than a minute, our players scored 2 goals, and we finally wrapped it up and won. And now we remain in first place with undefeated. So that was a really, really close call. In judo, Jorge Fonseca won the bronze medal in Prague, Czechoslovakia. So congratulations to him. Futsal, we won away against Burinhos 7-0. And last but not least, under 23, they lost today against the first team in the under 23 standings, 1-0 away. So it's not the end of the world. We'll be able to redeem ourselves later. It's a long season, and that's all I got for you.
Thanks, Steph. Thanks for that. Good job.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Rugby ladies, they won against Benfica 7-0 away. So that's also significant. So great job by our ladies.
Exactly. Well done, ladies. Let's move on to the Moreirense preview. That's happening on Saturday, 3:30 our time, 8:30 Portuguese time. Moreirense currently sitting in 11th, mid-table, 8 points. Decent team. I just also want to mention quickly, we'll be coming up against former Lion, great player, great adepto of Sporting, Alfonso Figueiredo. It's always good to play against him. Former captain of Avj, of course. But anyways, what do we think of Moreirense at home, boys? Chris, I'll pass that one off to you first.
Yeah, I think that we should be able to take care of him, right? We're riding the winning streak. It's another game at Alvalade, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Sporting 2-0.
How about you, Steph?
I'm on the same boat as Chris. I think we'll win. We're riding a high wave, and we full of confidence. So we'll win. I will say 3-0.
I'm going to agree. Listen, there's no way I can disagree. Moreirense coming off a slim 1-0 win to Miralhense, also losing to Rio Ave the week prior, just before international break, I should say. They're a decent little team. Don't get it confused. They also just did beat Marítimo and all, but how can I bet against our boys right now? The form we're in is just incredible. So I'm gonna say a 3-0 win as well, and Nuno Santos is gonna get a brace. Pot, is he playing or is he not playing?
Seems like he is trending to playing. It's unclear, but I think he's probably gonna play.
Yeah, I think so too. Emmanuel Ferro said this game, or just before Sacavenense, that he was injured, but I think that's just an excuse just for him not to play. But what do you think, Steph?
Say it again.
What do you think? Do you think Pot is going to play against Moreirense or come off the bench at least? What do you think? Start?
I think so. I think it'll be also it'll be kind of puzzling to see how we do without him, because it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So if he's not going to start because they're afraid he might, make his injury worse, then don't start him. I'm a strong believer that players should only play at 100%. Especially at the level of competition that is required, in the 21st century. So I'm hoping that if he's at 100%, he should play, of course. But if he's not, he shouldn't play at all. He shouldn't even be called. Let him rest. Let him stay home. We have a good enough team to play without him, because I don't want him to get his injury to get more severe. So as you saw against the Sacavenense, we had other alternatives, and it played off really well. Nuno Santos did well. So we have Bragança. We have a ton of good players. Giovanni. We saw, Tiago Tomás didn't even play, but he's another option. So let's see.
Yeah, let's see. You're right. It will be interesting to see how we play without him. Anyways, just want to say thank you to the chat. José Costa Jorge, our boy from Down Under. Richard Neves, Mundudung Leão, Yano, Eric, Camarena. Thank you guys for joining us today. Shorter one than usual, but thank you all for joining us. Thanks for all the Twitter questions. Be sure to follow us at Sporting160EN on Twitter, at Sporting160_EN on Instagram, and on Facebook, Sporting160EN. I just want to end this podcast off with three things. Of course, as we mentioned from the beginning, rest in peace to Maradona, football legend, and rest in peace to two icons of the Portuguese game, at least not from us, but from our rivals. Still have to pay respect nonetheless. Reinaldo Teles, who one of the administrators of Porto, 50 years in the club, died at 70 today. Rest in peace. And to José Bastos, died at 91 years old, former goalkeeper for Benfica. I was actually just hearing this now on RTP. Apparently he died 2 days ago, but the club only announced it now. But nonetheless, rest in peace to those two. Thanks for the service in terms of Portuguese football, even from a rival standpoint. And Maradona, of course, football lost a lot today, or soccer lost a lot today. Anyways, thanks for Sporting160EN podcast 86. I don't know why I just said that. And ciao, guys. Viva Sporting.
Viva.